How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk about stocks and focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. You just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about CLII that's going to be bringing EVgo public. We've spoke about this SPAC on the channel, and I feel it is a great opportunity, and it's part of the reasons why I'm bringing it up again. So before we get started, in all my videos I love to do an agenda. So the first thing that we're going to be going over is the most recent press release that came out, and it definitely did have an impact on the overall stock price. And I feel if you're a shareholder or you're considering to put in a position, it's something that you want to be taking notice of, because hey, I think it's great news overall in general. The second thing we're going to be doing is a technical analysis. We want to see where those support and those resistance areas are. You want to know, hey, if the stock pulls back, where's an opportunity where I could take advantage of? So we're going to be covering that. And then after that, we're going to be taking a look at recent institutional buys and as well as the short interest information. I feel this is key because we want to know, what are the institutions doing? What is the recent activity? Are they buying in or are they closing out positions? And then after when that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts in regards to recapping and just giving you my final opinion. So let's get into those videos. So we're now on the official website for EVgo, and we're going to take a look at the recent news catalyst that came out. So EVgo and General Motors unveiled the first fast charging stations from a landmark EV charging infrastructure collaboration. Los Angeles EVgo, the nation's largest public fast charging network for electric vehicles and the first powered by 100% renewable energy, announced today that it has opened the first 3 fast charging stations from the company's collaboration with General Motors to triple the size of its current network. In July 2020, GM and EVgo announced plans to accelerate widespread EV adoption by adding more than 2,700 fast chargers in markets across the country through 2025. EVgo and GM are already delivering on that commitment, with the first stations online and available to the public. The new fast charging station locations include 4 stalls at Carmount Village Shopping Center in Belmont, California, 6 stalls at Oakwood Plaza in Hollywood, Florida, and 2 stalls at Ballard Box Shopping Center in Seattle, Washington. GM agrees with the customer need for a robust charging experience that makes the transition to an EV seamless and helps drive mass adoption, said Travis Hester, GM's chief EV officer. As we launch 30 EVs globally by the end of 2025, this collaboration is expected to help create consumer confidence and excitement about the EV future. These new stations are the first of many to come as we work together with EVgo to offer EV owners more options for charging. The financial support GM is providing to EVgo has accelerated our station deployment plans in 40 metropolitan areas across the U.S., said EVgo CEO Kathy Zoe. By year-end, EVgo expects to have approximately 500 stalls from the GM EVgo collaboration live, and we are just getting started. Partnerships with public and private entities alike are critical to accelerate transportation electrification across the U.S. The Bay Area Quality Management District provided funding support in the Carmount Village Station. The Washington Department of Ecology provided funding support for the Ballard Block Station, and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection provided funding support for the Oakwood Plaza Station. Additionally, EVgo worked closely with Florida Power and Light, Pacific Gas and Electric, and Seattle City Light to make these stations a reality. All of these new EVgo sites deploy cutting-edge power-sharing technology, including fast chargers capable of delivering up to 350 kilowatts. This means that the site could provide 150 miles of range in 8 to 12 minutes, and for new 350 kilowatt capable EV models coming to market. Further, as evidence of GM and EVgo's commitment to accelerating transportation electrification for all drivers, each of its sites has both CCS and also CHAdeMO mode connectors, making it easy to go electric regardless of vehicle model. The new sites with GM are the latest in a series of announcements showcasing EVgo's momentum as the company grows its customer base and extends its network footprint. Most recently, EVgo celebrated the opening of fast chargers in Washington, D.C. and Maryland, and was also awarded grants to support the development of new fast chargers in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So this is definitely great news for EVgo. And like I said, anyone who's looking for a long-term opportunity here, especially if you plan to hold the stock for at least 3 to 5 years, I feel EVgo is a great choice. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for CLII. So let's take a look at how it closed on Friday. So it ended up closing today at $13.05, being down 0.99% on the day. As far as where it tested $12.84 on the low, and then also tested $13.31 on the high. So one of the things that I want you guys to be aware of right away, we definitely do have a solid area of support right here at this $11 range. When we have tested it, we bounced off very quickly. So this is actually a potential area where you'd be great to actually set up like a limit order, because when it does go there, it doesn't stay there that long. So that's where I say, hey, you definitely can't go wrong. This is a SPAC, so the floor tends to be right at $10. So if you're able to even get in at the $10.50 range, as far as downside risk, there's really not that much at all. And this is why I feel like it's a great opportunity in the 10 to 11 area. Now, if we take a look now, we could definitely see we have some support here right at $12. Will this continue? Hey, we're going to have to wait and see this, but just know if that particular area breaks, that's when we can get into the 11s. But we do see an increasing level of support, and we do have a run up here, right? So just taking into consideration right here of where it's at $13. If you're looking at it from a bullish scenario, you'd want to see this area actually continue to hold up. And also, if you're looking at it from a bearish scenario, if it does decide to break through the 21-day and as well as the 100-day, then we could end up going in around that $12.50 range. But one thing to also understand is, hey, it could definitely be an interesting May. If things decide to run up and a lot of stocks begin to recover, we can come back to testing 14. 14 is a big time area just in the sense because this is an area of resistance here. We can see that we definitely tried challenging this in the past and we were just met with a lot of selling pressure. But when we do pass it, or when we get a catalyst like what we got in regards to the news with GM, we ended up seeing a quick pop getting up here to 1450s, but then it ended up being met with selling pressure, right? So if we're able to actually get past this 1450 area, once getting past 14 where we have original area of resistance, then we could easily get to that $15 level. And of course, that would serve as another area of resistance where it would need to pass. So just to kind of give you guys a quick bit of a heads up, if you're thinking about getting into a position, as we talk about on this channel, don't just go in with one large sum. You want to take advantage of those pullbacks if they do happen. And the fact that SPACs are getting hit so hard, I wouldn't even think about buying unless it's somewhere in this 12 range or in the $11 range, and also making sure you got some money on the side. Again, this is if you believe in it long term for those pullbacks if it does decide to get back to 10. If it doesn't, that's fine. Anywhere in 11, 12, I think is good. You really don't need to be paying in that $13 level because it is volatile and we will have some swings. So we're now on fintel.io for CLII, and we're going to be checking out the recent institutional buys as well as the short interest information. So one of the things that we want to pay attention to as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So one of the things we want to take notice of is how bullish institutions have been. We could see even as of April the 30th, which was the Friday, we could see two institutions having new positions. Also, if we take a look from the 29th alone, yes, we had one institution that ended up closing out, but we still had a good amount that ended up opening. And as far as the shares, it's very significant, well into the thousands, as we could see here from Tortoise Energy Infrastructure Corp here at 62,000. We take a look at the 27th, the 26th, we have the Cutler Group and so forth, Central. So we also have BlackRock being one of the biggest investment management companies in the world. So institutions are definitely bullish on EVgo. So let's go forward, check out the short interest information. The short volume ratio stands at 34%, so that is fairly significant. If you take a look at the overall market volume in regards to shares that were traded on Friday, out of the 360,000, 123,000 of those shares were sold short. So that is just insane, but it's one of those things that you want to be aware of if you are a shareholder. So as far as short shares availability, it stands at around 80,000, and for the short borrow free rate, it's at 5.60%. If we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, it being here at 34 is definitely fairly significant. The last time it reached within this range, close to into the mid 30s, was back here on April the 23rd, so not too long ago. But outside of this time, it is definitely at a high right now at the moment. So that's part of the reasons why, if it does end up getting any type of catalyst, we end up getting a lot of buying pressure, so we see significant moves in price action. So for my final thoughts for CLII, that's going to be bringing EVgo public, there's a big time opportunity here. We already know, as far as EVgo cementing itself being the largest fast charging, running on 100% renewable energy in the US, come on. What do you think is bound to happen here? We're going to be seeing some upside in regards to the overall stock. I do believe, especially as adoption of electrical vehicles becomes even larger, they could benefit from this. Yes, there's other competition in this space like ChargePoint, like we talk about on this channel, as well as Blink, but I do believe EVgo sort of has its own little niche here. And the fact of the matter is they have partnerships, and hearing about this partnership that they have going on with GM and so forth is looking really good and setting up a really bright future. I also do like the price. At the price of where it's at currently, I do believe, hey, you can get it at a better deal on some pullbacks, but do keep in mind this is a SPAC. So $10 tends to be the floor. So as far as your downside risk, there's really not that much at all. And that's part of the reasons why I think it deserves some heavy consideration. Like I said before, EVgo is the largest fast charging station in the US that runs on 100% renewable energy. The first. So, taking that into consideration, seeing where the market is going, you already know what Joe Biden's plans are and so forth. Hey, I'm going to leave it to you to make the right decision on this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.